Just I'm allowing others to enter. Okay. Varshini is in a village. Good. Villages will be good. Less corona. Okay. Um, I think it's time to begin. Village ಅಲ್ಲಿ network ಇದೆಯಾ? Okay. Probably some fortune villages will be there where the network will be there, but for unfortunate villages we can't do anything. Okay. Problem ಇದೆ. Varshini is saying that problem ಇದೆ. As good. Okay, now we are going to start. My subject is, first of all, very good morning to all of you. Okay, very good morning to all, each individual. And I will be taking the subject like application programming in using Python. Okay, now Python is nowadays it's very famous. Probably you may be seen some of the videos, or you may be going for the tuition, or it may be like that. But Python is a very powerful language. We can say it is a power star as of now. Okay, it is used in server-side programming. It is used in web development. It is used in um, most of the applications. Okay. Now, whenever we say Python, it has been introduced in 1991. Okay. Now, it is the name given based on a circus, okay, which was very famous. Okay. Circus, which was in US, very famous circus. The name Python has been given based on a circus. The inventor has given the name based on the very good circus. He was very impressed by the circus, and he was given that name for this language. Okay, Python is a object-oriented language. So it is similar to Java. It is similar to Smalltalk. It is similar to C++, C hash. Okay, it is similar to Ruby. It is similar to Smalltalk. It is similar to R. All these languages are object-oriented languages. Java, it is also similar to Java. All the best features have been taken and introduced in Python. Okay, scripting can be done heavily by using Python. Okay, so it is a very simple language. Okay, I can make you sure that you'll love this programming language. Okay, no complexities, no syntaxes, no very restrictions in the syntaxes. It is portable. Python is a portable language. Okay, what do you mean portability? You can type, or you can say. You can give me the answers. Portability of a language. Any one of you.
Which can be used in any systems.
Yes. If you write in one operating system, say I have written my Python programming in Windows operating system, that can be executed in Java. No, that can be executed in a Mac operating system, or that can be operated in a Linux operating system. Okay, so there will be no restrictions of operating system. If I written in Windows means no restrictions that I need to execute only in Windows. No, it's not like that. Portability means it can be executed in almost all the platforms. Okay, that is the meaning of portability. So Python is a portable language. Python is a simple language. Python is an object-oriented language, and Python is an interpreted language. Okay, interpreter. What do you mean by interpreter? Any idea? Whenever I say interpreter, it will be debugged line by line. It will be debugged line by line. If there is any error in one of the line, it will not go ahead. Okay, it will stop there itself. Okay, That kind of things are known as interpreters. When it comes to interpreters, they'll be very fast. Okay, but when you see the other languages, they are compiled languages. Compiled means the entire program will be compiled at a time, and it will throw you a lot of errors at a time. Okay, but in Python, it is an interpreted language. That means it will stop. It will stop wherever there is the error. Okay, and it will ask you to debug. Then it will move ahead. Okay. It is an interpreted language. It is an portable language. Okay. And it is having a lot of libraries. It is having a lot of libraries for various functions. Okay. I can say it is an ocean of libraries. Python is having ocean of libraries. Okay. Like math library or pandas library. Okay. Or it may be any other libraries. There are NumPy, okay, which is for numericals, like this. So there are various functions, there are various libraries which is supported by Python. That's why it is so famous. Okay, Python libraries are required for data analysis. Libraries are required for web development. Okay, based on the frameworks, different libraries will be there. Okay, so I'll present the screen now. Okay. Is the screen visible? Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what can you see on my screen?
Desktop.
Yeah, on the desktop.
Read Python, in Python, read Python.
Okay. It is similar to some cricket coding. Okay. Eat cricket, drink cricket, sleep cricket, something like that. Okay. So Python, you must involve in Python. That is the meaning here. So the subject name is application development using Python. Say the first module. Okay. I have given you some brief introduction about the Python, where it is used, why it is used. Like that, here also some applications are there. It is used in data science. Okay. Whenever we say the data science, we are extracting the information. Okay. We are going to invent some new hidden information in the given data. If you say any bank, it will be having a lot of data. We want to extract the hidden information. We are using that field is known as the data science. Similarly, machine learning. Okay, we are making a program to learn something. Okay, that's what the machine learning is. Okay, for example, I may train a program to answer you. Okay, that will be the machine learning. We will train a program to do something. That is machine learning. Next, web development. Okay, whenever I say web development, it is server-side programming, client-side programming. Okay, can you give me example for any client program? Mozilla is an example for client program. Okay, Internet Explorer is an example for client-side program. Okay, similarly, Chrome is an example for the client program. Now, when it comes to the other side, servers, all your websites are servers. For example, yahoo.com is a server, Facebook is a server. Okay. Similarly, ICICIbank.com is a server. Okay. All the programming in the server side is also done by using Python. Okay. Maybe we can use the other languages also, but nowadays we are using Python. That is known as the web development. You must focus on where I am. Okay. The third point is web development. Okay, we are using some frameworks. Django, it's very famous. Flask, it's very famous. Okay, they are the frameworks. Whenever we say the framework, it's a collection of functions. It's a collection of functions for web development. Okay, and Python will be having huge libraries. Next is a dynamically typed programming language. Okay, no need to mention int x is int x, float y. Okay, no need to like that. Just if you type x, it will understand that x is equal to 10, what kind of data type it is. 10 is integer, so it will understand that x is integer. Okay, now
Integer.
net type y is equal to 70. It is a float. Okay, so no need to mention float x or float y. That's what the dynamically typed language is. Okay, and the next point is it is an interpreter. It is an interpreted language. Okay. Now everything is recorded. Whatever we are doing is recorded. No need to interrupt. No need to disturb me. Okay. Now, whenever we say an expression, okay, the first topic is expressions. We are going with basics. Okay, C language will be having the basics, or similarly here also we'll be having some basics. Every language will be having some basics. So expressions. Can anyone say what is an expression? Can anyone say what is an expression?
Combination of constants and variables.
Yes, it is a combination of operators and operands. You can see here, you can see here, the 3 arrow marks is the prompt, Python prompt. Okay, after that you'll be having 2 plus 2 is an expression because it is having operands and it is having an operator also. 2 is an operand, plus is an operator. So it gives you facility. The Python interpreter will give you facility to directly enter the expressions, but no other language will give you this facility. You can't enter 2 plus 2 in Java language. If you write like that, it will hit you. It will give you left and right, and it will say, hey, write in a proper syntax. Okay, but Python will accept everything. It will understand that, oh, the user has entered 2 plus 2 as an expression. I must give him the result. Whenever I type 2 plus 2 directly, it gives you 4 as the answer. Okay. Similarly, the next example I have focused as a red color with red color too. Is the font visible, or can I change the font?
Font, sir.
Please respond me.
Change the
One
font,
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ zoom
sir.
ಮಾಡಿ sir. Zoom ಮಾಡಿ.
Change the font, sir.
Okay. Now the red color 2. Okay, I can directly enter the 2. That is a facility. You can't enter like 2 in other languages. If you try to enter 2, it will hit you again left and right. It will slap you. Every platform will slap you. Okay. So you can see that directly if I enter 2 and if you type enter, it will reflect 2 as the answer. Okay, I'll show you later. Now, whenever I say some introduction about the operators. Okay, if you see here, if you see 2 asterisks, is the 2 asterisks visible? It's not visible.
Sir, zoom
No,
ಮಾಡಿ.
sir.
Blue
Zoom
color.
ಮಾಡಿ.
Font size, sir.
Okay. Now, I think everyone's eyes are good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you see the 2 asterisks, it is known as exponent. Okay. Exponent operator. It is one of the special operator in Python. See the example here, 2 raised to 3. Example, focus on the example. It is 2 raised to 3. Okay. What is 2 raised to 3? 2 power 3. 2 power 3. 8. Is it? Why such a pause? 2 raised to 3 is 8. Okay. This is known as an exponent operator. What is the next operator? What is the next operator?
Modulus reminder.
Modulus. It gives you a reminder. 22 modulus 8. 22 modulus 8. What is 22 modulus 8? When you divide 22 with 8, what will be the answer?
2. 2, sir.
8 2 is 16. 8 2 is
Yes, sir.
16. 16 plus 6. 16 plus 6 is
22.
6 is the remainder. 6 is the remainder,
Oh,
man.
reminder, brother.
Okay, you have forgotten. It will give you the reminder. So, for example, 10 modulus 5. What is 10 modulus 5?
0.
0. Okay. Similarly, the modulus operator will give you the reminder. See the next operator. See the next operator. It is known as floor quotient operator. Floored quotient operator. Okay. Two slashes continuously. Two slashes continuously. It is a floored quotient operator. Okay. It will give you only the real part. Okay. Or the integer part. When I divide 22.8, 22 divided by 8, you will get 2.75. But 0.75 is discarded. We will get only the integer part of it. Who is the integer part of it? That we can get through this float quotient operator. Okay, this float quotient operator. The next one is the division operator. You know it. Asterisk operator. You know it. Arithmetic operators. Okay. Operators will be same except this exponent operator and float quotient operator. Okay. You can see here. Now we have entered some expression. We have entered some expression. Okay. Now 2 plus 3 into 6. It is an expression. Do you agree with me? Please respond me in the chat box. If it is yes, say me yes. If you are angry, say no. Okay. Now 2 plus 3 into x is 3 into 6 is 20. Okay. Now how it is evaluated? That's what the evaluation of an expression is. So 2 plus 3 into 6. It will be having multiple operators. Now, which one will be executed? Okay. Asterisk is having highest priority. Star is product is having highest priority, so that will be multiplied first. 3 into 6 is 18. 18 plus 2 is 20. Okay, it will be evaluated from 3 into 6 plus that will be added with the 2. Okay, now if you see in the next example, 2 plus 3, it is written in brackets. That's why the bracket is having more priority. It will be executed first. So 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 into 6 is 30. Okay, so that makes the difference. Similarly, in the next example, he has multiplied very big number. Python will be very happy if you have entered very big numbers. It will give the result within a fraction of seconds. It has given a very big number. Okay. Now, if you see the next example, 2 exponent 8. Okay. What is 2 raised to 8? If I am fast, you can say, sir, you are fast. 2 raised to 8 is 256. Okay, I told you it is an exponent operator. Please remember, this is an exponent operator. Okay, I'll ask you in the next session. Now 23 by 7. Okay, it is the quotient operator. It is known as the quotient operator. It will give you the quotient. Whenever you divide 23 with 7, okay, you'll get 3.285. Some value you are going to get. Okay, that is the quotient. If you see the next example, 23 floored quotient. That means you will get only the integer part of it. Okay. Now the next thing is the modulus operator. Whenever you divide 23 with 7, you are going to get 2 as the remainder. Okay. Now if you see some expression, a big expression, which has multiple operators, multiple operands. Okay. So how it is evaluated? After this evaluation, you will get 16 as the output. Okay. Now if you see here, this is the order of execution. Every operator will be having the precedence. Okay. Now, whenever you can see two brackets, 5 minus 1 in one bracket, the other the entire expression in other bracket. There are two brackets. Okay. Bracket and bracket, they are having equal priority. Okay. Similarly, 7 plus 1 is also placed in 3 minus 1. Two brackets. Okay, again, they are having equal priority. Now, which one needs to be executed? Whenever this kind of dilemma occurs, whenever this kind of confusion occurs, what we will do is we will we need to know some concept known as associativity. Okay, left to right and right to left. Some operators are left to right associated. Some operators are right to left associated. Okay, now if you see the brackets, it is left to right associated. So the left bracket, 7 plus 1 is in the left side. That will be executed first. So you are going to get 8 there. In the next, you are going to get 8. Okay, after that, the right side one, 3 minus 1 will be executed. So that will be replaced with 2. Okay, so again, 8 divided by 2 is 4. So the entire thing will be 16.0. We are executing from left side always. Bracket is a left-sided, left associated operator. Okay. Similarly, if we talk about the right associated operator, can you give me example for any right associated operator? Any one of you in the group? That means you did not learn properly in the previous semesters. Right associated operator.
I think asterisk and division. No? Sir?
Division also left
Asterisk and division.
is equal to is the example for right to left associated. That means, for example, if you see here, I'll open a notepad. I'll open a notepad. You can see here, A is equal to 20, A is equal to, B is equal to, C is equal to 20. Now, can you tell me from where it is executing? From left side or right side? $20 is assigned to C. Okay, we start from right side. We start from right side. Okay. Try to focus here, all of you. Yeah, right side. Okay. 20 is assigned to C first. Okay. Then the value of C is copied to B. Some interruptions will be there because some students are coming very lately, like VIPs. Okay. We need to accept the VIPs also. Now, 20 is assigned to C, and C is assigned to B, and B is assigned to A. The order of execution will start from right side to left side. Okay. That's why is equal to is known as right associated operator. You must know this associativity. Okay. I will ask you. Now we can go to some little practicals. Okay. Now you can see here. What do you see on the screen? Please respond me.
Anaconda Navigator.
Anaconda Navigator.
Yes, Anaconda Navigator. This is an integrated development environment. It is an IDE. Okay, where we can type the programs. I'll give you the introduction about all the platforms. I'll show you the command line execution. I'll show you the Python charm, PyCharm. We say that at PyCharm, and I will try to execute in Anaconda Navigator also. Okay, this is the basic IDE, or this is the popular IDE. Okay, why it is so popular? Because it is an web-based IDE. Whenever I click on launch, you can see the Jupyter here. Jupyter Notebook. This is the one where we are going to type the programs. Okay, you click on launch. Okay, whenever I click on launch, you are going to get it will be launched in a new browser. Okay, or in a client. It takes some time. Okay, because it is having lot of it acquires a lot of memory. Okay, now what do you see in the screen? A browser has been opened. Okay, in the browser we can see some menus. Okay, this is known as Jupyter platform. Okay, or Jupyter Notebook. Now after this, you need to click on new. Okay, on the right side, hand symbol. Just you focus on my words. New Python 3. Okay, now a new notebook has been opened. Okay, what you'll be having in the notebook? Generally, you answer me. Notebook will be having a lot of lines, is it? Here, each line will be known as a cell. Okay, the green colored box is known as a cell. Okay. Why it has been introduced? Because the entire program can be divided individual lines and we can execute them separately. Okay, that's why this notebook has been introduced. You can see the different menus. File menu. Okay, it will be having some save options. Okay, download options. Okay, all those things. And edit. Okay, all the editing facility is provided here. Cut cells, copy cells, split cells, delete cells. Okay, all these things. Now view. Okay, we can toggle between the different cells. Next, you'll be having an insert menu. Okay, if you want to insert the cell or if you want to insert below, that is the insert menu. Next, you'll be having the cells option. Okay, where we want to select a particular cell or we want to run a particular cell. Okay, next, kernel. Okay, did anyone of you heard what the kernel is until now? Any answers? Kernel. Did you heard this word until now? Kernel is core of the operating system. It is the flow of the control. Okay, which controls the flow. Okay, that is known as the kernel. Okay, we can restart the execution. We can stop it. Okay, all those things we can find in kernel. Okay, all those things. That's about the menus. All these are the different menus. Now, next comes the tools. Every platform will be having a tool. Okay. Now, you see the first symbol. It is used for save. It is a flop symbol. Next, the plus symbol. If you want to add the cells. Okay. Plus will give you the cells. Next, you'll be having the cut scissor symbol. You can delete that. You can delete the cells. Okay. Next, if you want to copy a particular cell. Similarly, if you want to navigate, for example, if I am here, if I want to navigate this cell to the downside, I can do this. Okay. So this is for navigation. This is for navigation. And similarly, if I want to run a particular thing, say print hello world. Okay, or hello welcome. Dear students, welcome. Don't worry about spellings. Some people will be very much worried about my mistakes. Welcome to Python world. Okay. Now, so this will print you some message. The Python platform or the Jupyter notebook is very happy to invite you. Okay. After typing this, you need to click on run. So what is the message you got? Students, welcome to the Python world. Okay. Now, if I want this cell to the downside, okay, on this navigation symbol. Okay, it will come down. Similarly, if I want to you click this symbol, it will go to the top. Okay. Similarly, say for example, I want to print one more time. Print hello once again. Hello once again. Okay. Say I'm here. I'm in the top cell. I want to come to the down cell. What do you need to do? You need to click on the navigation symbol. We are in the second cell. Okay. Some students are coming now. So that makes the disturbance. Okay. Now we can go through the syllabus. Okay. Now, if I want to insert a new cell, what I need to do? Click on plus symbol. Okay. Now you got the plus symbol. Now I told you I can directly enter an operand. If you type enter, okay, or you can run. When you click on run, you got the output as 2 itself. Okay. This is the exclusive facility given in the Python platforms. Okay. No other platforms will give you this opportunity. The other platforms will be very angry. Now, similarly, I can directly enter the expression 2 plus 3 plus 5. After this, if I type run, you are going to get 10 as the output. Okay. See here, I did not write any code. Just I have given the expression. I have submitted the expression. Now, for example, 2 plus 3 into 6. What will be the output? What may be the output? Which one will be executed first? Two operators are there, plus and star. Which one is having highest priority?
Star.
Star is having highest. So 16 to 3 is 18.
18
18
plus
plus 2 is
20.
20.
20. Okay, if I run this, so 20 is the output. So now in the next example, I will change the order. 2 plus 3, but I will place that one in brackets. Okay, now into 100 or into 6 to show the difference. Now which one will be executed first?
Brackets.
Bracket.
Brackets.
Bracket is having highest priority. Okay, so that will be executed first. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 into 6 is 30. Okay, so we'll get 30 as the output. Okay, now similarly, in the textbook he has given some big example. Some big expression, 5 minus 1. I'll try to copy the same thing. 5 minus 1. I have sent you the books, is it? I have sent everything. I have given you everything in the Google Classroom. Okay. 5 minus 1 into, okay. Five minus 1 into, I'll take some values. 7 minus 1, 7 minus 1, okay, plus 9 minus 4. Okay, now you tell me which one will be, what will be the output? Five minus 1. I told you, you must execute from left to right. 5 minus 1 is 4. You place that one as 4. Okay. After that, here it is 4. Here it will be 4.
44.
Now, first the left expression will be executed. Again, inside you'll be having two more expressions. Again, we need to go from left to right. 7 minus 1 is 6. Okay. 6 plus 5 is 11. Okay, this entire thing will be replaced with 11. Okay, so 11 into 4 is 44. Okay, I think you are intelligent. You are correct. So you got 44 as the output. So this is something about the expressions. This is something about the expressions. Here, they did not go deeply into the evaluation of expressions because as of now, you must have the knowledge of execution. How, in which order it will be executed, which will be having the highest priority. Okay, the priority of priority of the operators. Okay. Now already I have did various classes. So I'll try to open one of the classroom. We can go back to the navigator. Here we'll be having the multiple files, previously created files. I'll search for September 1 class. Okay, I'll search for September 1 class. Actually, we need to do yesterday, but it was not good yesterday. Okay, yesterday was Mangalwara. Okay, so you can see here already I have typed all those things. Now you can see the big experiment. Now if you want to run that, what you need to do, you just click on, you'll get the output as a very big number. Okay. Similarly, next cell. If you want to go to the next cell, you can use the navigation symbol. Okay. We did not execute this. 10 stars 3. What will be the output? 1000. Okay. You'll get 1000 as the output. Now, say for example, I want to run all cells. I want all the above cells. Okay. What do you need to do? Click on cell, run all above. Okay. Do you find the option like run all above? Okay. Click on run all above. That will execute you all the above cells. Okay. Am I fast? Dear students, am I fast?
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Yes, no problem. Okay, record give you. This will be recorded. You'll be doing the separate sessions also. Now, the next thing is he talks about what is a string. Anyone respond me in the group? He talks about a string. The data string is a data type. Okay. Now before that you use, I think you know integer data type, float data type, string data type. Okay. Here you can see the example for integers. Many of you don't know that 0 is also an integer. Okay, 0 is also an integer. You can see there. In this example, I'll try to enlarge this. I'll make this one as 20. Okay, you can see there 0. 0 is an integer. Okay, similarly float values, it will be having dots in between. Okay, it will be having dots in between, or fractional parts. Okay, similarly it will be having strings. Here it is a strings. So a group of characters is known as strings. A group of characters is strings. Okay, and the another feature is it will be enclosed within quotes. It will be enclosed within quotes. You can see A here. A is a string because it is a character. Okay, it may be character or it may be digits. Okay, now tell me A7 whether it's a string or not. Respond me. A7.
It's an expression.
A7. I'm asking you whether it's a string or not.
It's not a string.
String, sir.
A7 is also a, yeah, it's a string because it is enclosed within single quotes. Okay. Now, if you see the previous languages, if you see the Java, okay, in the Java, it needs to be written like this. If it needs to be an expression, it needs to be a string. Okay, even in C also, if it needs to be, it was compulsory that it needs to be enclosed within a double quotes. But here in Python, a single quote is enough. A single quote says that it's a string. Okay. Now, string concatenation. Okay, when it comes to the concatenation, it's like combining. Concatenation is nothing but combining two strings. You can see that Alice is a string and Bob is a string. I'm combining that. That becomes Alice Bob. Okay. Similarly, if you see the next example, if I am fast, you can interrupt me. Okay. My voice is not clear means please don't, you can put a message. Okay. Alice plus 42. Alice plus 42. Can we do this? How about 42? Whether it's a string? Others, everybody must respond in a chat box. 42 is not a string. 42 is not a string. Okay, so we can't do this. So Python will say you or hit you. Okay, what you are doing. Okay, we can't do. You'll get an error message. You'll get an error message. Okay, similarly, here comes a very interesting factor. Alice into 5. Okay, that means here the asterisk. Here the asterisk is known as the repetition operator. Asterisk is known as the repetition operator. Okay, it multiplies Alice 5 times. Okay, I'll show you now. I'll go to the editor or I'll go to the Jupyter notebook. You can see here in this example, Alice, Bob, and John. There are 3 different strings. We are concatenating that. If you run this, you'll get Alice, Bob, and John. Alice, Bob, John. Okay. Similarly, he has tried to, I don't want this example. I have given one more example. Yash plus Ramya. Okay. So what must be the output? Yash, Ramya. Okay. Now, I will insert one more cell here. Now, here example, I'll try to concatenate Yash and Yash plus 42. Is it possible? Respond me. It says no. Okay. When I run this, you'll get an error. Okay, you can see an error. Can concatenate only strings, but not string with the integer. Okay. Now, go to the next example. What is an example? Just focus on the green symbol. It's this one. Okay. You just focus on that thing. So, Aish into 5000. So the meaning here is it will print 5000 times. Okay. So here asterisk is known as repetition operator. Okay. Asterisk is an repetition operator. So here I'll write a comment. Okay. Whenever any statement that begins with hash is known as comment. I know everybody know what is a comment is. What is a comment? Are you listening? Comment. Type in the chat boxes. Comment will be not having any effect on the program. Okay. So I can say repetition operator. Repetition operator. Okay. Now when you run this, so Aish, how many times it has been printed? If you count, it will be 5 times. It will be printing 5000 times. Okay. Now I don't want hash, or I don't want say. I'll try to type hash 1000 times. When I run this, you are going to get hash as 1000 times. Yes. Okay. Now similarly, I'll try to insert one more cell below. Okay, here you can see the cell, a new cell has been inserted here. Okay, now here I want to type Udanka. $15 times. Udank into 15. Oh, so after this, you need to click on run. So it has printed 15 times within fraction of seconds. So asterisk is a repetition operator. Okay. Now similarly, when it comes to the one more thing, Python is a case sensitive language. Python is a case sensitive language. What you can see in the top string, city1, what does this consist of? Respond me. Students, wake up and respond me. Yes, it's a string. It's a string, but yeah, it's a string. City1 is a string. City2 is also a string. Now I'll make a capital B. Bengaluru, capital B. City2, I have given Bengaluru as a small letters. Are they both the same? Respond me. Yes. Yes, they are not same. Good. Many people are responding. Good. Now it's not same. Okay. Where was I? Now you can see here. It's a case sensitive language. Python is a case sensitive language. Everybody must remember that it's a case sensitive language. It differentiates. City1 is not same to City2. Okay. Similarly, here you must focus on is. Okay. Is is operator. Is an operator. It compares. Okay. Everybody must focus. Is an operator. Okay. Here I can type is an operator. Why I'm typing? Because you must know that is an operator. Okay, now it compares two strings. So what must be the result? Bangalore not equal to small Bangalore. Okay, if you run this one more time, I need this. What you must get? Respond me. Here you must get true. This time you will get as. Why it is giving false? You run this. City1 is print, City1 is City2. What is the mistake? I did not save it. You need to save it. Then you need to run it. Okay. Now if you move to the next example, length of City1. It will give you the count. It will give you the count of Bengaluru. How many characters are there? How many? BENGALURU. Okay, nearly 9. I'll try to run it. So you got 10 as the output. Nearly 10 characters are there. Okay. Now, if you see the next example, I have initialized the X with Y with 200. Okay. Now I'm adding. First number is X. The first number is 100. The second number is 200, and the sum is 100 plus 200. You'll get the output as 300. You must get the output as 300. Okay. You can see the output. The first number is 100. The second number is 200, and the sum is 300. Okay. Now, how this is different from other languages? No need to declare int. No need to declare int. Okay. No need to declare, no declaration, no semicolons. Okay. Nothing like that. Just you need to keep on typing the code. Now, print. Print is a function. Okay. Print is an inbuilt function in a string, in a Python. Okay. Now, I'm giving a message. First number is 100, and the second number is 200, and we are getting the output as 300. Okay. Now, I'll explain you one more thing. Say for example, I want to read any value from the user. Okay. Similar to the scanf statement. Here you'll be having a statement like input. Try to remember that it's an input function. It reads data from the user. So I will store that one in X. Okay. X is equal to input. Now you are so lucky that you can give the message within this. Enter a number. Okay. Now after this, I'll try to print it. Print. Everything must be enclosed within the brackets. Okay. After this, double quotes. So I can give a message. You have entered a number. Okay. Now after this, you comma and the variable name. You must give the variable name where it has been stored. It has been stored in X. Now when you run this, you'll get a message. The first statement. Okay. Enter a number. Say I have entered 30. Okay. After this, when you run this, enter a number 30. Okay. You run this. So you can see here asterisk. The meaning asterisk here is it is processing. Okay. The execution is under processing. Similarly, you can see on the top some symbol. Okay. That is known as the problem symbol. Whenever I use multiple things, this repeater becomes very slow. Okay, I have opened the Google Meet. Even I have opened multiple tabs. That's why it is very slow. I'll try to. I'll close this. I'll close this. Okay. Who is that? Palau girl. I'll give you Palau. Come to me. Everything is recorded, dear students. Please mute those things. If you are not interested, just quit the class. Okay, today we can stop here. You give me your feedbacks. Your CRs will be having your numbers. Okay. I have sent all the material. I have sent all the materials in the Google Classroom. Try to join the classrooms. Okay. I'll be doing a revision every day. Whatever I have explained you today, I'll be revising tomorrow also. Okay. Okay, thank you, students. We will be stopping here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
What?